Hey, thanks for tuning into Action Media Reviews. I have for you here G.I. Joe Classified Tiger Force Outback. Yes, they released the Tiger Force Outback in the Classified series, whereas the 3 3/4 inch figure was only available in the UK. I think it's a really neat addition to have this figure for a US release, especially in the Classified line. There's a lot of really cool stuff that comes with this figure. The accessories look great. And then we have here, now we've already done a review of the Classified Python Patrol Battle Android Trooper. And I was a little bit underwhelmed by that figure because of what I liked about the Python Patrol paint scheme. But we have the Viper. And the Viper at least has a little bit of that. But one thing I'm going to point out here, why do we have less accessories? Why? It's a Target exclusive. These are Target exclusives. The same as the Cobra Island Viper. The Cobra Island Viper was a Target exclusive, but it had the handkerchief here. You can see the gray handkerchief. Why do we not have that with the Python Patrol figure? Now, the magazine is not inserted into the rifle in the Python Patrol figure, whereas it was inserted into the rifle with the Cobra Island figure. But other than that, it's the exact same, just a different paint scheme. There's nothing different about these two figures, but we're missing an accessory from this one. We're missing that handkerchief. Now, I know that the Viper 3-pack will have that handkerchief included with at least one or two of them. But I cannot wrap my mind around why they're giving us less accessories. These are also more expensive figures. Speaking of more expensive, as you can see here on the back, it has the Chinese label on it. This figure, as well as the Python Patrol Battle Android Trooper and the Outback figure, I bought these from a seller in China. And the process that I went through for getting these was a little bit more complicated than what some other people are doing, but it's annoying, but at the same time, I understand why. These figures are actually out in the UK. They're out in China. They've been out. There is a UK store that people are ordering from, and they're just paying the inflated I say inflated, but they're paying the higher shipping cost to get these figures shipped to the United States from the UK or from China, much the same as I did. I paid extra shipping to have these brought in from Hong Kong so that I could have them early. And Target is becoming more and more of a pain in the ass to deal with as far as their exclusives and pre-orders go. One of the sets that I had pre-ordered, they canceled it. They canceled the set that I had pre-ordered because every week they put they do a charge hold on my bank card every single week. And I got a notification that the payment method had expired. My card's not expired. And my card is what I used. Card's not expired. I went in, updated the info, waited until the next day or whatever, like the email said to do. And they still canceled my damn order. Luckily, I was able to just go right back and reorder because I do want more of these figures. But one thing has changed. Whereas before, it did not appear as though I had the option to use PayPal as my preferred or primary payment method, but I was able to select PayPal for the payment method on these. So it'll just charge my PayPal account, and that will come straight out of my bank account. I won't have to worry about anything with an expired payment method or any stupid shit like that. I know that if you don't have the money to cover the cost in the bank at the time, I know that charge is not $1 like some of the other companies do. It's for the full amount. So if you've got $150 order or more, a $300 order or whatever, and you don't have the money in whatever account that's attached to, I know that it will cancel it then. But yeah, they said that my payment method had expired. and my card doesn't expire for another year or two. These have been on order. The first wave of Tiger Force and Python Patrol have been on order with Target for what seems like forever. These things got announced, and I immediately pre-ordered right then. Got to do it right that second. And still don't have anything from Target. There's people that have had these in hand way before me, and I've got them in hand way before we'll probably get anything in the U.S. market. There's several reasons for that. Just to give a little bit of a breakdown, damn fruit fly or something flying around, but just to give a little bit of a breakdown on that, China is experiencing all kinds of problems. They're dealing with COVID lockdowns again. If you look on YouTube for China COVID lockdown, they're locking down entire cities. And when I say locking down, I mean people aren't allowed to leave their homes. It's a complete and total mess over there. And they're doing it with large cities that are manufacturing bases. There's also the ongoing shipping container shortage that we're dealing with globally. Sometimes you have companies that are either paying a lot of extra money to get their products put out first, to get their products shipped in, plus they're also prioritizing things that are needed consumable commodities that takes precedence over a luxury item such as an action figure. So that's kind of one of the things that we're looking at. I know that some toy companies have paid extra to either have their product flown here by air freight, which is very expensive, or to have product unloaded early on the docks, trying to kind of bump up the priority of their shipping containers that are already here in the U.S. On the West Coast, we have problems with dock worker strikes, worker shortages, and just the system being clogged up and overwhelmed with an enormous amount of shipping containers out there on the West Coast. And it's just taking forever to get through everything and get those processed and get product out to distributors. So that's just some of what we're dealing with as far as distribution goes. The reason these are out in the market in the UK and in China first, or Asia first, is because that's where they're made. They're made in Asia, and it takes a lot less time for something to get from Asia to the UK than what it does to get from Asia to the United States. So it makes a lot of sense that a product manufactured in Asia is going to be in the Asian market first. The same thing goes with the exclusive Dr. Mindbender. You have people here in the States that are already getting Dr. Mindbender figures that didn't even bother ordering on Pulse. They're just paying the higher price to get them shipped in from Asia. And as a matter of fact, I ordered 4 of them myself. Not from Robot Kingdom, because Robot Kingdom has made it so that you can only order 1 of them. Otherwise, your shipping cost is $999. That's a little bit of a deterrent to people ordering a bunch of them or depleting their stock to resell here in the United States. There's a lot of people that have been doing that, and Asia has, the Chinese companies kind of picked up on that and figured out what's going on, so they jacked up their prices to be more in line with the American aftermarket. And I know that ordering from like Robot Kingdom, if you order 1 Dr. Mindbender figure, it's going to cost you somewhere in the neighborhood of $80. There are some cases where you can get them around 60 to 70 plus shipping, but shipping is going to be expensive. I mean, you're better off to just, if you have to have it right now, there are avenues you can go through in order to purchase those from the Chinese markets. But if you don't want to spend the extra money, and there's really no need to, you could have ordered it through Hasbro Pulse. When they did the QR code, there were people that were sharing links to the site for that, and people were able to get on there and order it before it was actually released to the public. And I ordered a few of them from Hasbro Pulse as well. Once I get the ones that I ordered from China, I will probably end up canceling my Pulse orders. So just because it's taking forever to get anything here in the U.S. market. And it's quite unfortunate that a lot of us have resorted to shopping outside of the United States in order to obtain products that, all in all, you know, like, we kind of should be able to get these. But, you know, I understand why. I understand why we don't have these in the market here just yet. But the Target thing, the Target exclusive thing, has been a cluster, a mess from the very start. It's gotten a little bit better, but I mean, like, you're going to pre-order shit a year ahead of time, and it's nobody likes to wait that long on some of this stuff, and especially if they're pretending to market these to kids, you know, by recreating 1980s paint schemes. If they're pretending to market these to kids, kids are not into G.I. Joe to the point where they're pre-ordering stuff. At least the majority of them aren't. The majority of the customer base for G.I. Joe is middle-aged men. Middle-aged men that are, you know, that have been collectors, or they see these and they're like, oh, well, these are cool. You know, I had these when I was a kid or whatever. But let's get these guys opened up and take a look at some of the differences in the Viper, and we'll take a look at Outback. As for the packaging and the artwork for the Cobra Viper, it is the same artwork. They just did a recolor on it. And as a matter of fact, you can actually see the handkerchief there around the neck. And we do not have that with the Python Patrol figure. First off, you'll notice that the goggles you have here with red lenses, and the goggles that came with the Cobra Island figure were just all black. The rifle is the same, the pistol is the same, the magazine is the same. So you really only have some paint differences in the backpacks. So we have I like this backpack a lot better than this one, because you actually have some definition there in the paint stamp on the Cobra sigil. The little Cobra emblem here is just all red. There's no contrast to it, and you don't have this panel of the backpack painted. It's just all black. I would have preferred to have some paint on here, maybe even gray. Actually, I might do that if I can match up a gray enough with it. And then you have the rope, still the same gray color. The backpack is the same otherwise. As far as the figures go, they are pretty much exactly the same. As a matter of fact, it's not even pretty much, they are exactly the same mold, which is fine. But over here, the Python Patrol, we're missing still some paint apps that I would say are kind of vital to the figure. Enough to the point where I would actually consider painting these lines, these scale markings. I would consider painting that onto the rest of the figure, at least onto the legs and waist. It just, to me, it doesn't look right without it. And that was one of the problems that I had with the Python Patrol Battle Android Trooper, was the fact that the figure didn't have any of that paint scheme on the actual body of the figure. It was only on the detachable chest, the one detachable chest plate that we got with the figure. And I think that they kind of missed the mark on the Python Patrol figures by not actually putting that all over the figure. At least it is on the arms of the Viper, but it needs to be on the legs and the body as well, or at least on the vest. That is a very much defining characteristic of the Python Patrol paint scheme, is the scale markings. You'll also notice that the arm guards don't have a paint app. They're just straight up black. The paint scheme on the original Cobra Island Viper, in my opinion, does look much better than what it does on the Python Patrol figure, just because of the details on this one. The details they missed on the Python Patrol figure that they really could have used to step everything up quite a bit. The gray vest does not bother me. There is a paint app there on the vest, that lighter gray color that you see here with the Cobra emblem on it, and the yellow. There is, some of the yellow, but the Cobra emblem here on the belt, they should have done that in red or in black, just to make it kind of stick out a little bit. They were already doing a black paint app, I think, here for the grenades and things inside this pouch. So it wouldn't have been that much more trouble to just go ahead and shoot a paint app over that as well. At least in my opinion. I mean, I don't know exactly what the process is for all of that, but it would seem to me that it would have been just as easy to do that as it is to just leave it done, or leave it undone. Shoot that paint app while you're doing others. He does come with the black holster, the same holster that is with the Cobra Island figure. Let's see, what else do we have going on here? The legs, the boots being all black, that's not an issue. Basically, the only issue that I really have with the figure is the lack of the scale pattern on the rest of the body. It's only on the arms, but at least it's on the arms and not completely absent from the figure like it is with the Battle Android Trooper. It's a nice comparison here, side by side. I'm glad that I have one of these loose. This is actually the only loose Viper that I have. I may end up opening another one. If I leave this guy loose, then I will end up adding some paint apps to him and probably an upgrade kit from Gridiron Studios. Let's talk for a second about the Outback box. You have a nice piece of artwork here side. I really like this art style, this pencil art. I think that it looks really good. And the fact that they illustrated him holding his firearm in a correct manner. To me, that's a big step. What is that? It's a Cobra, but is that a temple, or is that like a basket or something the snake's coming out of? So anyway, on the back of the box with the Python Patrol and Tiger Force figures, you have what to me appears to be like a Cobra Temple type scene. And this would be in the jungles of South America or some such place. And then you have that Tiger Force logo. I dig the new Tiger Force logo. That is the background for the figure inside the box. I think that it's simple and yet does a really, really nice job paying an homage to the original Tiger Force logo. So let's take a look in the tray. Actually, everything here is new. So we'll get him out of the tray to check him out. That gun is pretty cool. It's much like the original gun that came with the Outback figure. I want to start off by saying, what a great figure. They did an awesome job with this guy. Everything feels awesome on him. Like, it feels high quality. You don't have sticky, gummy joints or anything. The joints all feel good. Good positive lockups. Nothing feels like it's going to break, but the way that these butterfly joints in the chest move and feel, they're not sticky like some of them that I've had in my hands on. They're not like floppy loose or anything, but they have the right amount of tension. And I think that they may have done something a little bit different internally, because you can feel like a ratcheting system in here. And they move like I would expect them to. Really happy with that so far. The knees, the knee joints feel good. You have the same articulation in the legs, the feet, you have that calf rotation. You also have the hip rotation up here. He comes with sheath for the boot knife. He comes with Molly, whatever this is, a holder for this flashlight, which the original figure, the flashlight just pushed into the leg with a tab in a socket. You have this holster over here. The web gear looks great. There is no real function to the web gear other than just appearance. It would have been cool to have a couple mag pouches with extra magazines, but they haven't included extra magazines with any of the figures. Now, the thing about Outback was a ginger, but the UK Tiger Force release, he had white hair, and it's gray on this figure. I never really understood why they did that, or kind of like why they doing it on this one. I would much prefer the hair to be consistent between the releases, but I understand also that this is a direct reference to the UK figure, and the UK figure had white hair. They did an awesome job with this figure. He looks great. The hands and everything are good to go. All of your articulation everything feels Very good quality from this figure. Let's get him geared up. We'll take a look at the pistol here first. I don't like the pistol. There's a couple things that are cool about it, but whatever. I mean, it's literally, I would assume that this is a flashlight on here, a flashlight or a laser on the bottom that is what appears to be zip tied around the gun. It depends on what type of pistol this is actually supposed to be, whether it's a laser blaster, directed energy weapon. If it's a directed energy weapon, then you don't have any of the moving parts, but you appear to have moving parts back here. At first I thought this was supposed to be like a 1911 or something, but then I got a closer look, and it's absolutely not a 1911 style pistol. I don't think this is anything at all real world. I think this is just a directed energy weapon, just a laser blaster for the figure with a flashlight, and it'll take blast effects. As a matter of fact, that's kind of weird that they put a socket there on that light or laser, because you're not going to have blast effects coming out of a light or laser. But you do have a pressure switch right here. That's pretty cool. They added a pressure switch to it. It looks like, honestly, it might be some type of fixed barrel action, like a Desert Eagle, where the slide is just the slide to the pistol is literally just this piece back here, and none of this is going to move, and that's just where the barrel is fixed. And that would be cool. There are firearms that exist like that, so but very survival-esque, very improvised. You have the tape wrap around the grip, which they added a color app to. I think that's cool. You have the magazine for the little bufferless M4. I'm not really sure why this is a thing. It's straight up an M4 without a stock, with no buffer tube. That is a thing that exists. That is this is possible. This is a possible real world application weapon with an aim point type red dot up here. I don't know what the hell this would be. Maybe like some kind of an IR laser or something. But you have a quad rail forend. You have a flash hider and a foregrip with a sling, and you have this little stubby receiver extension, the little stubby buffer tube back here. So you would basically have a bufferless gas system. This may be this could be done with like direct impingement, or it could also be done with a piston type operating system, considering the fact that he is an extreme environment survivalist. It's probably it would probably be a gas piston driven system. And let's take, where did I put the magazine for it? So the magazine, I believe, goes in like so. Yeah, it just locks right in there. Not a super tight fit, but it's not bad. It'll actually go in either way. That's probably correct for this application. And it's not sized to match like real world or anything, but it does look good. I didn't give you a close-up of the knife. So here we have this knife. It's a flexible plastic solid color, no paint apps or anything on it. It goes right into the sheath on his boot. And the iconic Outback flashlight, the military survival light that we have here. This actually has a number or a model number, but I don't recall what it is right off the top of my head, and I didn't look it up before I started making this video. So that'll someone will figure that out and add that in. Hey, you big dummy, here's what it's called. They'll add that into the discussion, hopefully. And it goes right here on the little webbing holder on his leg. And then the pistol goes into the holster over here. It's a good fit, actually. Looks really good. It appears as though there is a hole there where you could equip a suppressor to the pistol, a suppressor that did not come with the figure, but does come with several other figures and could be equipped onto this pistol as well, and would be able to, which actually, you know, a suppressor would make a lot of sense with Outback, but to have that suppressor extend down through the holster. Let's see what we have here. So the backpack actually has a couple of attachment points. you have one on each side. You have a peg on either side. So what pegs into where? Do we have... Will this go through the trigger guard? It will! You can actually put the... kind of an odd way to stow the rifle, but it'll peg right in there through the trigger guard. That's like... This thing's pretty soft. At least it won't break. So yeah, that'll peg right in there. The shovel has a hole right there for pegging into, or for the backpack to peg into, just like so. I will say, like, the material this is made out of is quite a bit softer than what I expected, but that, you know, it's going to keep things from breaking, at least. Let's get that. Be careful whenever you go to pull this off, because if you pull by the red dot's going to move on you. So yeah, that's undoubtedly how that's meant to go. Probably more like this, so that it's not, so the sling isn't really, I don't know. Let's see how it fits the figure itself. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. Here, let's take this off. I'll find the hole. Okay, so here's the backpack with the trenching tool. And let's get the figure a little bit of a lean there, a little forward lean. And we could probably wrap this up around here and peg it in. Yeah, I really wouldn't want to. Yeah, it fits. It fits. It's not the best fit in the world. That's not really how I'd want them carrying that. It will go like so, but you still have interference there with the arm. How else could it go on there? I mean, maybe, yeah, you're still going to end up with some interference there where the arm is located. So I don't think that's, it's either not meant for that and something else is meant for this peg that we don't have or didn't get, or it's just there for whatever else. I don't know. But the rifle, this is not the most functional piece unless it's just in his hand, in my opinion. It's not functionally stowable onto the backpack like most of the rest of the classified figures have their weapons are stowable onto the backpack. This is not very stowable unless you wrap an arm up around it and then peg it on, which maybe that's what's intended to be done, but I'm not sure. Otherwise, very pleased with the Outback figure, the first of the Tiger Force line. I think that he looks fantastic, and I actually do like the accessories a lot. The head has plenty of movement as well, but they did a very good job on this figure in particular. Thanks for tuning in and opening these awesome new figures with me. Be sure to check out the description for links to different Facebook groups and sites and things that you will find useful. Also, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you remain to be notified whenever I post new content. All right, guys. Again, thanks for watching, and Yooo Joe!